I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Doing amazing.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
You all right, man? You just waking up?
No, I was doing some app work. So
Yes.
I was stretching my core.
I've been working on my core.
Working on my core, getting ready for my train, and not the D train.
A train.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna jump right into it.
Yep.
I got a chance. Opportunity, promotion, blah, blah. You know, those are just words.
It keeps flipping on me.
All I have to offer is words.
I don't know what's happening.
Man,
Here's
just
our
words,
favorite
bro.
copies.
Nobody cares.
Yo, you ready?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. What's going on, my beautiful people, on this wonderful Saturday, and whatever day it is that you're watching or listening, I hope it is just as wonderful for you as well. Today is just another blissful day because I'm in the presence of y'all, man. And so that just always makes it all the much more beautiful. We'll get right into it. So as always, if you didn't know, you should know by now. My main brother, my man, Monsieur Los on deck.
I missed that music. I actually did. A few weeks with no podcast. I missed it. Como ça va, crew? Como ça va? Welcome back. Welcome back. Just words. Nobody cares.
Yo, bro, you got like mad reminiscent. You're like, Puerto Coño, how long has it been?
Yo, it's been a quick minute.
Been a minute. Yeah.
Like, we haven't been in this environment as Vibe for a while. Like, I feel like what? Like 5 weeks?
It feels like that.
It's been
Yeah.
It's been about 5 weeks.
Traveled around the world.
Yeah.
Seen many things.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm supposed to be the bougie one here, but you guys are real fancy and bougie all over the place.
As always, it is wonderful to be blessed by your presence. The wonderful, the lovely, honorable Lady H.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. I'm trying to remember how to do this and how to speak well and not stumble over my words. I've been finding this lately in social situations where I'm just like not being able, like I can't speak. I'm just like, I was saying like Sheller Keller. It was like, no, her name is Cheryl Keller. Like I am just mashing my words together when I'm talking to people, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? Anyways, good to be back.
Glad and always happy to have you back. Today we have a phenomenal and wonderful special guest. Before I get into who you are and what your name is, I just got to build up this lovely intro of you since the minute I saw you, the minute I met you. And this must be now, what, 14, 15 years ago, I guess, or something like that.
Wow.
It's been a long
counting?
time. Yeah, I don't know. But
beautiful.
had such a glowing, loving presence and energy, everything
Still
about
does.
you, your aura fucking popping. Yo, everywhere you walk in is great. Except when you fall asleep by like 8 p.m.
I wasn't going to mention that.
That was unnecessary.
The shutdown that you have is unbelievable because your commitment to, I guess, waking up to living life in a healthy, fashionable way, which is being, mindful of your body and listening to it, is amazing because you respect it so much that you fall asleep anywhere.
That's not commitment. That's a curse. I don't have control of that.
The fantastic, phenomenal Dorothy. Would you want me to say your full name or not? Just leave it as Dorothy?
I mean, as you wish.
No, whatever you want. Just fucking Dorothy, the amazing D. Nah.
Wait, what? Hey, you.
I was going to say, maybe not that.
It's an absolute blessing to have you on. Every time I chill with you, it's just always fantastic time. So
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
The first time that we had originally met, we worked for a relatively reputable fitness establishment. I'm not gonna give them their name because I want no fucking free shout outs, and they can afford to pay if they wanted to pay. And we were working as front desk coworkers, and you were the first one to train me. Pause. I don't even know why I keep saying pause after train. And and we were
Wait, why did you say pause?
Because I said you trained.
Train.
Oh, I'm still like late to that joke, that wonderful middle school
Yeah,
joke.
it's fucking 5-year-old shit. Anyways. And yo, everybody would come in at whatever time, you know, for their workouts. And they could be running late, right? And they're rushing in. But if they saw Dorothy at the front, they'll have a full fucking 45-minute conversation with her. They'll be like, hey, Dorothy, how's your day? And then she'll be like, hey, Diana, tell me about your day. And I don't know who the fuck Diana is. I'm just saying.
But what time was this? Like in the middle of the day or like?
This is like 5 a.m. when we had to be in the gym.
Yeah.
And then 5:30 opening the gym. So it's just like being at the front.
I was gonna say, I mean, I like to see you after 8 when you're sleeping and you're not grumpy because when nobody has seen you in the A train at 4:45 in the morning, you're scary.
Wait, you have?
Oh,
You ran into her?
We bumped into each other. Remember, you were up there. You live in Uptown.
It's a zombie.
Wow.
And I get in my train. No, it was the one train.
Yeah.
The one train. I see her in the one train, and you're like, "That's Dorothy." And I'm like, "Should I say hi?" And then she sees me, but she acts like she doesn't see me. You know, one of those situations where you know you see somebody,
She's
and
like,
you're like,
"Fuck, I don't want to."
You're like, "Fuck." I'm
not
seeing
ready to
somebody
be
I know,
social.
but I don't want to be social. I don't want to be rude, but. You know what? I'm just ignore him. I'm gonna act like I don't see him. And then you turn around, you go to the other bar. Well, you just turn your back, so you don't see nobody.
The casual, I didn't see anything.
Wait a second. That's actually another curse where it's just like blindness. I can't really register faces. So it's just like for me, like all I saw is some dude like staring at me and I'm like, it's too early to be dealing with this. Let me just turn around.
Oh my god.
He's like, he's giving me vibes. I can't
She's
do
like, here's
this.
this asshole trying to hit on me now.
It's 4
in the morning. Like,
It's me, yo, Los. It's me.
I'm like, nah.
It's 4:45 in the fucking morning, and this motherfucker is staring
I
at me.
forgot about that. I'm sorry.
So that after seeing her fall asleep after 8, I'm like, oh, look how sweet she is. I'm like, you don't want to catch her 4:45 on the one train. That woman is she is furious in that morning train.
Nah. Yo, but like when we were in the front desk, yo, so she'll be like, I see, right, when nobody's looking. So she'll be like, all right, man, you know, like, let me power down for a second. And then as soon as a guest would walk in, yo, she was on. And I'm like, wow, you know, that shit blew my mind. But it's one time, I don't know, you may not remember, or it may be, it just happened coincidentally. We had little cubbies where we would put like our mail and shit or whatever came in, right? Like, oh, we left this for this person. And one time I accidentally, you gotta understand, the cubbies are like right next to each other, right? And I accidentally like got in hers, and you had your headshot there. And I saw it, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "My homegirl is an actress." Yo, I was like, and she's not telling anybody. What
He
the
told
fuck?
everyone after
Yo,
that.
I was like, "Yo, Dorothy, so what you doing?" And she goes like, "Nah, what you mean? What I'm doing? You know, I'm here." And I was like, "Nah, but what you doing?" She's like, "What are you talking about?" and you were like so shook to share that you were into acting, at least at that moment and that time. Like you were like, "Nah, just mad, you know, timid about it." You remember? I mean, you might not remember that shit. That shit was so long ago.
I mean, like, at the time when I was doing that, like, I wasn't trying to, like, tell everyone's like, hey, I'm an actress. I'm an aspiring actress. Like, I'm going to be in these plays. Like, it was more of like, all right, this is what I'm doing right now. I'm working. And then later on, I'll go and I will attend my rehearsals. I'll do my auditions. Like, I'll live my life. So for me, I wasn't like trying to combine the two, though. Like, now that I think about it, that gym would have been a great place for like.
I'm like, wait, if anything, it is like the networking central. It's like a mecca of networking there.
It was, but it was just like at the same time, I was just like, I want to do what I have to do here, and then I want to leave. Like, I didn't want to cross lines because then it starts to get messy. Like, even now, like, the gym is still like, you see crossroads happening, and it tends to blur lines with relationships with different people, and I just like to keep things like separate. So I had to learn how to like network properly. Like, cause like back then I was just like, no, stay out of my business. Like, and that's why I was all just like chipper and happy, just like, good morning, how you doing? Yes, pay no attention to the curtain behind here. That's my business. And then little by little, I was just like learning like, oh, it's actually okay to like, you know, open up, to like, you know, learn, meet new people, learn from their experiences, so that way like you can have a better opportunity later. But it wasn't apparent at the time. So when you kind of were just like, what you doing? I was just like, tight lip, like,
Is it something you're still actively pursuing at all? Or is it still, or has it something just transitioned away?
It's kind of transitioned a little bit because at that moment as well, like I started to get into personal training, and then all of a sudden like it just flipped because I've always been like very active in my life as an athlete, and so it just clicked like instantly when I started to do personal training. I always liked helping people like to better themselves anyways, so it was just like, oh, you can get paid for this, that's amazing. Like, so I was just like, and then it was just interesting, like the more I learned about the human body, about like how you can actually change it, make it stronger, like everything just clicked, and I was just like, this is what I want to do, like, and I want to make a business of it. And then after that I was like, acting is starting to become a little bit of a hobby, whereas like personal training started to become like an actual full career. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna ride this horse, and I'm gonna see where this takes me. Like,
Gotcha.
So not to say that like acting is gone, but at the moment, like my pure interest is like personal training. So
that's exciting. You were like, well, now to think about it now.
I have moments like that where I'm just like, oh, that's an interesting question that I have not asked myself. So
but that shows you dedication and personal training, because I mean, you've always been fit. I mean, you actually take it serious, and you work out also on your time.
yeah.
No, she's a fucking gym rat, bro.
I mean, I say this because I have some clients and I see their training. I'm like, are you serious? That's your trainer? Like that dude's like,
it's relatable.
20 pounds of weight. What's going on?
It's relatable.
20, bro. I've seen my man's like sumo wrestlers, and then they're usually the best coaches. Like they're.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would want someone like Dorothy who's actually in shape, and you could see, you know, like, all right, I could see where I could go if I work hard. Like, well, I could also see the other side of it, where you see the other person. You're like, I could see where I go if I don't work hard. But at least seeing someone who's actually in shape and does take a craft serious, it's a plus. I mean,
I do remember you shifting your body type. Was that intentional? Like you went from from like the acting side, you had the long hair, it was different. And then out of nowhere, you went straight into working out, and you fucking got sculpted. And I was like, damn, girl, the fuck? Was that like purposeful, or it just happened because of the commitment?
I'm gonna say it happened because of commitment, because I remember at the time, like when I had the long hair, and then I was going for a specific audition that was looking for a certain type, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna cut this hair. I don't need it. And I did.
What?
I just lopped it, and it just changed everything. Like I got typecasted completely differently. And
How so? I mean, what was the role you were going for? If you don't mind me asking.
it was some like young, between like 14 and 18-year-old. And so the long hair gave me that youthful look, but it was almost like too youthful. And so it's just like when I cut my hair, like it almost gave a slight more mature tone.
Got it.
And so like for that, like I was immediately able to like to get like young adult roles. Whereas like before it's just like, you're a child. And I'm like, okay.
You went from the Disney Channel to CW.
But yeah, like also at that time too, like that's when like I really started to like pick up my education into like just personal training. And then with that, every time like I would learn something new, I'd be like, ooh, I should put that to practice. Like every single time. And then little by little, I was just like, oh, things are changing. I like it. So, yeah, like it just came from like being committed to like improving my own knowledge constantly and then putting it to practice on myself. And then, yeah, like years later, then wanting to do like different competitions. Like when I was doing the competitions with the mics, remember them?
So you like the CMCs and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Civilian military combine.
Ah.
And those dudes are, I mean, they're in fucking shape.
They were a different animal. Like
Dumb dudes. Shout out to the mic.
I was gonna ask that if you're in competition, because we didn't see each other for a few months, and I stopped by to see you for the fight night, and as soon as I saw your shoulders, and I was like, "Damn, D, you're looking."
Oh, she's broad.
Like you're
She
looking
could pick you
right.
up.
I was like, "You're looking right," and I was like, "Your shoulders are just magnetic." They were like, and I was like, "Whoa."
Thank you.
And you were like, "Yeah."
No, because when the pandemic hit, like it changed everything. Like gym shut down, and for me, like it wasn't like I had like squat racks bells in my apartment. Like I had.
And by the way, as a woman, do you get the stigma of just having to do calisthenics and no? Tell them what you be fucking doing. Yoga calisthenics. Man. my homegirl be lifting the fucking weights, man.
I believe it.
No, you know what's funny?
What do you
It's
do,
just like
calisthenics? Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
that's not the case no more. Like now it's just like very acceptable. It's like women lift, like they lift.
Let 'em
And
know.
so if anyone's coming over going like, "Oh, do you feel more comfortable with bands?" I'm like, "Yes, for my warm ups." Yes.
I do bands for my full workout.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that either. So, but yeah, it's just like the acceptance of just like females coming into gym, being able to lift iron, you know, and just putting in the work. But at the same time, it's just like, it's not to say that other fields of fitness are any less, you know, like if you put me in a Pilates class, you'll see me die on the spot. Like,
Why is that?
Because like it's a whole different animal. Pilates is more of like core and overall strength. So it's like holding a certain position for a certain amount of time and then telling someone to like pulse it. For me, like I'm more like fast twitch muscle group. And so it's just like I can move weights fast. I can go into certain positions like quickly. You tell me to hold something and I'm like sweating on the spot in 30 seconds going like, can I move? Can I move? Can I?
10 seconds.
Yeah. So it's just like different strengths. So
That when being so in the beginning, in the very beginning, when you did decide to get into fitness full time, hard body, were there any challenges you had to overcome, especially being a woman in the industry? Because when I saw you and you would chill, like you said, the mics, yo, these dudes are animals, like they're big guys. And in all honesty, though, you were the one that stood out because among them big dudes, then there's just you, and you were lifting with them, like yo, and on some real shit. However, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you. I would see women on the flip side hate the fuck, right? Like yo, hate because they'll be like, oh, who does she think she is working out with those guys? Or like, you know, you wear because you're in shape. And you wear clothing that is form fitting to your body, but because your body is naturally sculpted, then the bitches would hate even further. Yo, like the shade, I was just like, damn, you some hating ass bitches, ain't you?
damn, Ron, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's. I was gonna ask, have you ever felt that or no? It's just been, you know, fucking daisies running around in the field, and everything's great.
Yeah. Actually, the funny story about that was like I never took notice because in my head I was just like la-di-da, I'm just gonna pick up some weights. Like it was just, it really was like I just got pure joy whenever I got to work out. And then also it was just like the people that I was working out with, like it was a community. Yeah. So it never crossed my mind of like someone's in the corner hating on me. Like I never thought that. But then like I want to say maybe a couple of years later, like, two trainers that I got really close with later on, and we work out together all the time. Like, I was talking to them, and it came up that
You don't gotta be politically correct. It's just words. Nobody cares.
well, it just came up that, like, when they first met me and I first became a trainer and I was first lifting, all of a sudden, like, they were just like, you know, we actually didn't like you. And I was just like,
What?
and it caught me off guard. I was like, oh, did I do something? And they're like, well, it wasn't something that you did. It was just like, you're very, like, intense. And so for me, I'm just like, well, I'm not an intense person. I'm relatively calm, I think. And they said,
I
no.
would agree with that. I mean, you're pretty chill.
What they meant was, like, intense as in, like, how I would pick people I'd work with or work out with, and then the workouts I would do. And so they were just talking about, like, the energy that I was exuding when I was in workouts. And so I was just like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know what to do. And they're like, no, we just, it's fine. Like, it wasn't you. It was just us because we just kind of felt threatened at first.
Hating
And
ass
so
bitches.
Wow. Were these women or men that told you this?
it was two female trainers.
Wow.
So it caught me off
wild.
guard. But then, like, they said it themselves. They were just like, no, we just had to check ourselves a little bit. Because at first we were just like, who does she think she is? And then we actually got to know you. And then we're like, okay. Yeah. Okay, she's
I mean,
cool.
that shows the
That's
craft.
wild.
That shows the dedication you have to the craft, because you take it serious. And they were like, "This is like, she's no joke." You put in the work out there. When they see you working out and doing something with clients or something, and it happens across the board. I got the same thing recently. They were like, "You're very intimidating." I'm like, "Me?" They're like, "Yeah, when you're at work, like, you're a totally different person." I'm like, "Well, I'm doing my job. Like, this is serious."
Right.
I have to-
Tunnel vision.
I gotta do the gig. Like, I'm there for 8 hours. Like you say, you turn it on. Once I start, that's it. I'm on. And people are like, you're a totally different human being when you're outside of your suit and your whole attire. And it's probably the same thing with you. Like, when you're in the gym, you're like,
Tunnel vision.
It's on.
Yeah.
There used to be this one chick or lady, woman, whatever the fuck she identified as, and yo, she, whatever. But this lady, and it was weird because whenever she worked out, and when you said the word intense, right? There's a very big difference between intense and focused and tunnel vision, but there was this one specific person that she, anytime she worked out. And she would, do a rep or a move. It was like a fucking orgasm scream.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yes.
She's still there? No.
Nah, she was a problem. She was a problem.
She had to let everyone know.
well, the fact that you still remember her, I'm sure she was like memorable.
Oh, 100%. Like, it got to the point where, like, I think someone actually did come up to her and told her, like, hey, the sounds that you are making are a little inappropriate. And it was just like, you can't moan while you're working
She
out.
was moaning?
Like,
No, bro. Era una vaina rara. Like, it was wild. It was like, It was wild.
I believe it, but on the flip side, there are men that would do that. I used to be a gym rat 10 years ago, believe it or not. Like, I was lifting weights, doing that whole thing.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, seriously. At that time, I was dating someone in the military, and I got into weight training hardcore. 10 years have passed, which is why you can't believe it. But I was lifting like hardcore weights. Like I was doing the bench press. Like I can't remember the number I hit or anything, but it was pretty high. I was doing the squat, everything. So I was a gym rat at one point in time. And the men, I hated this, but they would always grunt. And be like, shut the fuck up. This is inappropriate. Like, my ears are on blast from how loud the music is. But they would grunt so much because it's I guess I don't know if they're showing off or if they needed to like make those sounds in order to lift those heavy weights. No idea.
I
But
will say that, like, certain sounds are involuntary. Like, when you push into that last rep and it's like that last bit of energy you have and you, like, sometimes it just slips out. You're just like, ugh. And, like, I've experienced it. I've seen it. But then you've got others.
Yes.
Just others.
You do. You can tell.
Just picking up the weight to go rack it. and they're already starting to make sounds, and it's just like, no. You should, that's not what those sounds are for.
Like, you know, just to bring it back 360, if, you know, when those young ladies, those trainers came up to you and they were like, oh, you were intense. Like, if you would have been doing that, I would have probably seen their position. But nah, these are just some hating ass bitches, yo. Like,
I know. Everyone, all women are lifting weights and like showing off that they're lifting weights at the gym, you know?
it's
And on the flip side,
let them know.
There was a post on Reddit. I'm a big like lurker on Reddit. But there was a post a few months back about how this woman got upset at, she thought men were staring at her, but men were just like going about their workout, like not paying her any mind. But she was like, I see you looking at me and checking me out. How dare you? And she's in like little short leggings, like skin tight stuff. And
but come on, like if you're gonna walk around wearing
like,
a poster of like, look at me.
And
like,
she's like doing the squats, like very accentuated. Like, I see you looking at me. And the guys are like, we're not looking at you. We're just getting our workout in.
The social dynamicisms that happen in fucking gyms are all over the place.
I don't miss it at all. I will say that.
Except boxing with Berto.
That's different though. That's not weights, you know. That's community. And that's also community, the gym one.
And that was the dope thing with you guys, because when you did switch from the front desk team and became, you know, cool with the trainers, I was like, fuck, she's gonna leave us behind. She ain't gonna say what up. She's with the cool kids, right? You still kept it cool with me, but then you would invite me to work out with y'all. And I was like, nah, I think I'm good. And I did a couple of competitions with them. They were nice enough to invite me to these competitions. But obviously I'm not on their level by any stretch of the imagination. But what was cool and so fucking like inviting and reinvigorating, right, was that aside from helping me train and do all that shit, is they would do the race. And then, like, I would finish it 2-3 hours later, and they would still be there waiting for me. And then they'll be like, yeah!
I love that.
Rudy! They're like, Rudy!
And I'm like, nah, these niggas done left, bro. I gotta take the train home, too.
That's okay.
It is what it is. Nobody cares. And they're like, yeah, we've been waiting for you to have this beer.
But when you saw them at the finish line, you were
bro,
you were hustling.
No, I was like, yo, fucking 50th win came in like that. Hey, the thing is, like, I would hit those parts, like, where you gotta climb shit or whatever, and I would just stand there for like 2 minutes and assess it. I'm like, should I be doing this? See people fucking breaking ankles and shit. Like,
every time you guys invited me, I'm like, these guys are stupid. Why are they gonna do that stuff? I'm like, hell no, I'm not going.
I will say some of the obstacles, I was just like, I don't know about this. This seems like I'm gonna snap my neck. Because like there was one obstacle, and Berto has a recording of this, where like I just ate it hard.
You bust your ass.
Well, there was a net, thankfully, but it was just like my head went through it. But it was just like, it was at the very end of the race. I was tired, was not thinking straight, and so like I climbed this contraption, and it was like these giant monkey bars, right? And just nothing. I see the finish line, and I'm like, gotta get to the finish line now. And I jump, not thinking. Should have thought about it. Should have walked around it. But I jumped. I had been through a lake, mud, the mountain, lake, and so I was like drenched. And these are slippery bars. So it's just like I jumped and I grabbed it and immediately slipped. But how I fell, like it was just quick, like just grab, smack, right down. And Berto's recording it, and you just see my body just die, and he's just like, oh.
That's probably the best part is his comment.
No boyfriend instinct kicked in.
I know, right?
He's like, let me go check in on my wife here. So it's like, oh. I swear. So what do I do here?
But it's okay.
Should I put the phone down or go help?
I slowly just came to senses because it was a shock. Like everything hit, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I started to climb out of the net.
But was it your ego or you were hurt?
Everything.
All of the above.
everything was bruised and damaged. Like,
Oh my god.
but it was like by the time I finished, got past the line and everything, it was that like excited feeling like I did it. Let's go party. Like,
20 minutes later, she
She
sleeps.
sleeps.
I believe it. One beer, half a beer, she's out.
No, that shit is wild. Yo, like years after, working out with you guys and all that, I was like, yo, let me try one of these events again. Because I had done like Spartan races and I did the civilian military combine with you guys. But like years later, without any training, I was like, oh, muscle memory would kick in, right? Yeah. And I did a fucking Tough Mudder. And I signed up.
I remember that. You did that.
Yo, I thought it was 3.5 miles. Yo, when I get there and you get in a school bus for them to take you to like the rally point. And I'm like, yo, this bus is going kind of far, man. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Like, it's been 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I'm like, yo, it's just only
Like a mile a minute.
And I say it out loud, like the thinking process, and I say it out loud, and I was like, damn, man, yo, but for 3.5 miles, this bus is going mad far. And out of nowhere, some like random nigga says, 3.5 miles, this is 13.5. And I was like, what?
Oh my god.
Yo, I went into total panic mode.
What do you do?
I was like, let me off right here.
I'll walk back. It's okay.
He's hitting the button. Next stop.
Next up.
Yeah, I was like, let me off right here. Like, what's happening? No, you're playing with me, right? And the driver's like, I guess you gotta fucking go through the obstacles to make it back.
That's wild. So at what point does it feel like, oh, it's just another mile?
No, at no point.
At no point.
At no point. Because what happens is, I mean, at least for me, and then obviously I want to hear from you, but it's like, yo, I hit up, I look forward to every obstacle, but in this particular one, what happens is I went on the later heats, and doing that is always a mistake because the dirt is wet from people going from water to dirt and all that kind of stuff, like mad muddy. It's all fucked up. And I seen like the second or third obstacle I hit was you're supposed to jump into a pit that's like 10 feet deep and fucking dig your way out, right? Some wild shit. And I seen this lady jump and her shin like snapped.
oh no.
And yo, they had to get the EMTs. And they pull her up, and all you see is mad mud, right? And then white. And I was like,
White, yeah.
Oh no.
yo. And when I seen that bone, I was like, nah.
I'm an Uber from
Yo,
here.
bro.
He doesn't call Uber.
I'm out.
I was like, yo, legit. I was like, I walked around that whole obstacle. I walked around. I was like, no. And as I'm walking, what happens is that it was so muddy on the outside because then people started running on the outside that my foot gets stuck in the mud walking, and I was so embarrassed to like tell anybody help. So I had to throw myself down like back so I can like lift my foot out, and my shoe gets stuck. And I'm there like 20 minutes, like, yo, what the fuck is happening right now? And I'm over here thinking muscle memory will kick in.
Oh my god.
No, so what I'm sharing with you is at no point does it feel like a mile. And then I did some shit called the Arctic Enema. And everybody walked away from this one, but because I walked away from so many other obstacles, I was like, nah, I'm gonna do this one. It was in Philly, and it had to be like 30, 40 degrees weather. You go in, and it's an ice tub, ice bath. And yo, I jumped in. It's like big tub. You jump in, and then you gotta climb out. Yo, I didn't feel shit for a minute. I was just like, what the fuck? And I thought to myself, like, why the fuck did I pay for this?
Well, like, why are we doing this?
Torture. No, Tough Mudder's obstacles are different. Like, Tough Mudder literally is just like, how do we destroy them but not kill them? Like,
For liability purposes.
Disclaimer.
that's the only reason why I was just like, I'm not doing a Tough Mudder. Like, they have one obstacle where they have those like electrical like
Yeah, that's the ending. That's the last.
Come on.
So that's the last quarter mile. So you got to go through these electrodes. You got to run through it, and there's a whole thing like, and you got to run through it, and the electrodes hit you, and you get shocked, and that's like supposed to be the allure, right? And I've seen everybody run. yo, this nice gust of wind came, and all the electrodes moved out of the way, and I jetted past that
Like, now's my chance.
shit. I was like, because I was there standing.
Damn, son, you bitched out.
Yo, I bitched out hard body.
Nah, that's not bitching out. That's
That's
using
not
your
bitching
brain.
out,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Like,
Yes, that's
if
making
I
a
had
smart
the option
choice.
of like avoiding being electrocuted after just going through like water and everything, like it's not like you were just jogging up the path and like, oh, a field of electricity. Like, no,
That should be fun.
like you were in water, you were going through it, and now you're being told, oh yeah, you gotta go through that and hope not to get electrocuted. Have fun.
How
Like,
are they not sued? I
Oh,
guess
you
you
signed
sign a
those-
disclaimer.
Yeah.
So,
no?
I'm sure they have you something.
No, you signed those waivers that say you die here, it's okay. Like literally, it says some
No, I
shit like
believe
that.
it. I believe it.
It's like when you go skydiving, they make you do a video. Like, oh,
yeah.
this is not under duress. We did skydiving
yes,
together.
that was wild.
We all should talk about
was-
that.
I hated you so much that day. I was like, this should not be a test of our friendship. Should not be a test. Jump out of a plane to prove that I love you. Like, I was just, and then of course the video where it's just like, watch this video. Hi, you're about to jump out of a plane, but you have to accept all these rules. You might die.
Oh my god.
Like, and then they're recording you watching the video telling you that you might die.
to have proof that you were told.
So, and then as you're watching it, you have the piece of paper where you have to sign saying, okay. Like,
Yes, I might die.
all of this was just like, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. Like,
my
he really
God.
wants to do this.
It was a test of our
I mean,
friendship.
but I don't, is that a good idea that you mentioned the word die before you jump into from a plane?
Yeah, you gotta know
You
what's
have
up.
to.
You gotta know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a possibility.
Because now's the time to back the fuck out.
Yeah. No, it makes absolute sense from a business standpoint.
Hey, yeah, no, this is real life shit.
By the way, don't get any ideas about testing my love.
Oh no. Yo,
Because I'm well past that window where I would say yes to skydiving.
wait, we're not gonna do
You
it?
haven't skydived?
No, there was a window of time I would have done it, but now I'm like,
Windows closed.
We gotta do it next
You
year.
didn't tell you to propose midair?
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing.
He didn't tell you that?
oh my god.
No, I mean, so because with us,
Back to
right,
the drawing board.
And then so wait, this is the plan. I'm gonna tell you now what's gonna go on. So
Is this for real?
Yes, for real. So he's gonna propose to you midair, and when you land, I'm gonna wait for you downstairs. I'm gonna be like, it's just words, nobody cares.
No.
Back to the drawing board.
No, because the thing is, like, she would be the one to tell me about all these competitions and these events. Like, Ron, we should do this. This will be fun. And mad chipper and shit. And I'm like, all right, man, I'll try this shit with you. And then when I came out, I was like, yo, we're gonna go skydiving. I don't give a fuck what you say.
I was scared the whole car
man,
ride
I
to
mean-
there. I was like, and Berto was just like, don't worry, it's going to be so much fun. I was like, have you jumped out of a plane before? And he's like, no, but it's going to be fun. You're going to have so much fun. And we get there, and I'm just like, now's my chance to say no. Now's my chance to be like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. I don't think but I did. So
How was it? Did you have fun?
I don't remember. I think I passed out for a second. Like as soon as like we were up there, like I forgot that we were gonna jump out the plane. I was just enjoying the view. It was beautiful, Long Island Beach, and I was like, wow, this is nice. And then they opened the door, and I was like, and then the guy was just like, put your feet out the plane, and I'm like,
You nailed the cadence.
The crazy thing is, knowing myself, if I would have gone to like skydiving, if I ever, which I will do.
No, we gotta do it next year. Next year.
We gotta talk about that because my girls want me to do them first, like Emma and Chloe. So they're like,
That's fair.
So, but me knowing myself, I'll be like, my defense mechanism will be like orientations. Like, okay, first word we gotta talk about is death. It's a reality. It's a possibility. I'm like, what? How? Death?
No.
I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, you could die when you jump off the plane. How? I mean, I'm just like, no, I'll freak out.
Nah, just wear orange. Like, that's my thing.
Wait, what?
wait, what do you mean just wear
So
orange?
they can find you if you get lost?
Exactly.
Yeah, and you get
so that way
stuck in
people can
trees?
see you in the air.
What do you mean?
What are they gonna do if something happens? Like,
Just find your
At
body.
least they can find your body if you die.
So if my parachute doesn't open up, it was like some Mission Impossible. Dun 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 dun. Midair.
When I went, because I had gone a few times, and I wanted to do it where you got to do like 10 jumps to be certified to then do it yourself and all that kind of shit.
What happened to that?
I was too broke to do it because because I was thinking about buying you got to buy your own parachute, right? And I was like, I'll buy a used one. And then they tell you, don't buy a used one because you don't know if it will open. Because like a new one was like 10K.
I feel like there's a whole list of reasons why you should
to open midair.
I'm sold. I'll buy a new one.
But it was like 10K to buy a parachute. So I was like, damn, that's pricey. And then the classes and all that. I was like, I'll hold out. I'll just keep getting strapped to this dude and he will take me down. Pause.
Hey, you.
Strapped to this dude and he will take me down.
He'll put a strap on.
And so this time the dude let me he was like, all right, I'm gonna double tap your shoulder and that'll be the sign for you to pull the parachute. Yeah. And I was like, yes. And so he double taps and I'm like, no, a little bit longer. Free fall. And he like double taps
so
again.
bad.
And I'm like, no, just a little longer.
So bad, babe.
You're too wild.
And then
No.
he's like, yo, we gotta do it now.
Coño, mi amor, mad disrespectful.
No, he gave you the opportunity and you're just like, a heart attack.
No, because the fucking free fall is the best.
Mad disrespectful, babe. Mad disrespectful.
He was cool. He was just like, all right.
You can't be testing that. You can't be testing that.
Fun. But it was cool. But then when I got down, I forgot who mentioned it to me. I forgot who, because I know Wanda was with us, Berto obviously, somebody else. I think Big Ed came through. And somebody was like, yo, I wondered why you were falling for mad long without. It's like, it looked like you took the longest to pull that parachute. And I was like, yeah, that was a choice.
No, this is a moment for the first time where I feel like I will say Ronald. What the fuck?
I would have gone in Spanish. Rona.
Yeah.
Coño.
Ronaldinho.
No. So would you do it again?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Because it was just like, as soon as I, hit the ground and stood up and was like, I'm still alive.
Did you fall? When you landed, did you fall? Did you land on your feet or did you fall? I forgot. Somebody fell.
Oh, it was horrible. Like,
I mean, you're just falling all over the place. From the Tough Mudder to...
did not stick the landing
No,
at
you
all.
didn't stick the landing?
No. If anything, the guy trampled on me.
Oh, it was you, yes. I was like, yo, somebody got fucked up.
It was just like, from the jumped out the plane, I'm questioning everything. Next thing you know, I'm like, wait, this is actually quite lovely. Oh, it's like I'm flying. And then he pulled the chute and I'm like, oh, it's okay. I'm okay. And then the ground's getting close and I'm like, I'm almost there. And out of nowhere, he's like, put your feet out. I'm like, what? Trip.
Yo.
And he just like steps all over my body and I'm like, oh, get off me.
Yo, because my dude was cool. What we would do, which was wild to me, while we were gliding, he would collapse the parachute.
How?
Like you can make it implode and then open it back up.
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
oh, shit. So
That's
it feels
cool.
like another little free
Yeah.
fall, but then you're like, oh, I don't know if that shit can fuck up mid-air or whatever. You got to wait for the winds to just be right. I don't know. No wind.
I didn't see that on my liability.
Yeah.
Like, were they allowed to do that?
Well, I mean, you tell a dude like, yo, let's, and then we flipped.
You flipped with without the parachute.
With the
right?
parachute.
With the
Yeah.
How does that not get tangled?
Yo, mind blown. I don't know the physics behind this shit.
Nope.
I was like, yo, I was loving it. But I remember being down and like, yo, landing fucking like I was a G, right? Feeling like I got this shit. And so when you're off to the side and you're watching everybody land, you're applauding, yeah, whoever land. And now it's coming back to me. The neurons are connecting. I remember Dorothy coming. I'm like, huh. I don't know if this is gonna work out too hot. It was like because I saw mad, jerking insecurity at the last second, right?
From her,
from her, because it's tandem, right? So the dude that's holding you, and then it's like a whole nother human body in the middle. And the fucking human body in the middle, which was Dorothy, was just like mad Maddie,
running in place already.
Yeah, like looks like some wild shit. I'm like, huh, what's going on there?
What the hell's wrong with you, Dorothy?
It wasn't me. My guy was giving me instructions and I was following them.
Flail your limbs
Clearly,
about.
you are not following them.
And you know, and all you and everybody, you know, so when everybody comes down, like I said, we clap and all that shit, and out of nowhere, like they about to touch the ground, and all you see is boop, and I'm like, ooh, and because then you think about, you know, then the parachute comes in front of them, and then the dude falls on top of her, and it's just like, ooh. I don't know what's happening.
You okay, D?
Yeah, it's just like, ooh, wow. And you are kind of far, like. Yeah, that looks like a big run.
Are you okay?
Hey, she gets up. She's like, I'm all right.
I was.
Thumbs up.
Like, I made it back to the ground. Just not as elegant as the rest of you, but I made it. So
That's what counts at the end.
No, that shit was. So that's the reason, to bring it back to 360, the reason I asked you to go skydiving is because you would invite me to all those civilian events, the military combines and the shit. And I'm like, what can I do where I look like I'm gonna thrive?
Where will I be set up for success?
Yes.
Where my muscle have no use. Midair.
Fuck this shit, man.
which was perfect. Like, you got to show your strengths and I got to show my weakness. So it worked out.
And it's like another thing, like when we work out together, you know, you be dying and shit. Like, and then she's like, ready for another rep run? And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, yo, how do you maintain that chipper, upward trajectory energy while working out so hard when you're working out super hard?
I mean, she's in shape.
Yes, we talked about that.
Oh yeah, like it's just that hormonal release, you know, like you're naturally getting those endorphins like when you're working out, and then it does become an addiction because now your body is like accustomed to that routine like hormonal release. So it's just like once you stop, all of a sudden it's just like where's my drugs? Like where's my fix? Like, yeah, it does become a withdrawal where you're just like suddenly you're not like as active, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't feel right. Like I don't feel good. Like your mood changes. You start to become depressed. Like, and yeah, that's why like it's pushed, like, you know, you don't have to be like a bodybuilder or like the top athlete, but like, you know, physical activity is important for the human body because like aside from like just overall like health, like that mental health is important too. So for me personally, like one of the trainers like came up to me and was just like, you look so angry when you work out. And I was like, but I'm the happiest when I work out. And he was like, but it doesn't show on your face. And at the time, like I had my headphones on. I was like, well, this is the music I'm listening to. And I gave it to him. And it was just like this chipper, like kind of Disney folk song going. He's like, I was like, what the hell are you listening to? And I was like, well, I can't be sad when I lift because if I'm sad or like if I'm upset, I'm distracted. And if I'm distracted, then I'm gonna hurt myself. So it's just like I try to put myself in like the highest mood as possible, because then it's just like naturally like I fall into a rhythm, I fall into a cadence, and yeah, like that's just very important, like not to be distracted like while I'm doing like specific lifts or just anything in general physically. Cause like you don't need to be like, for example, running on a treadmill and be like, damn it, I should have said that, and all of a sudden you twist your ankle, like which has happened to people before, where it's just like they get distracted and then they're not paying attention to what they're doing, and then next thing you know, like the dumbest of injuries happen. So
that's wild. And you just ran. So when you didn't have access to gyms in COVID season, you would just break out into random push-ups. Like,
Yeah, what was the adjustment there?
yeah, that did happen. No, that sucked so bad because at the time, like I was starting to get into the weightlifting competitions. I just did a competition at Murder Crows in Brooklyn.
I do remember.
We were
supposed
gonna
to
go.
Yeah.
That's when you stayed over in my apartment.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, in order for me, get this, to go attend your event, that we were first getting to know each other, I sacrificed a night and did not stay in my crib in the sanctity of my home at the time. And I went to her place.
That's how important you are. Yes. He loves you that much.
I was like, I'm gonna stay in Brooklyn because I knew
what, Brooklyn?
Yeah,
he
bro.
stayed in Brooklyn.
Because the event was at what time? Like at 9 a.m. or some wild shit.
It was early. I remember that.
I don't know. I just know that I had to be there like before 6
Yo.
because there was
We
the
were crying about
weigh-ins and everything.
And
so.
I was like, yo, I'm not gonna make it from the Heights at 9 a.m. to Brooklyn. You crazy? Like that requires me waking up like at 6, 7. Impossible.
No, at 5.
Yo, and I stayed in her place. And at the time where she was living at was a very suboptimal condition living space, in my personal opinion.
It was a decent apartment. I had 2 roommates, and we shared one bathroom. So
You're disrespectful as fuck.
I said
it was a
suboptimal.
renovated building.
Suboptimal. Suboptimal. I didn't say it was bad. I just said suboptimal. So it's not optimal. And I was just like, and I still fucking woke up late. And
we did. We
And
both
I'm not
did.
surprised.
Yo, I woke up late and
Yeah.
I texted Berto and I think I woke up like at 10, 11.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, tell me that she didn't go. And he was like, oh no, she was one of the first, bro. I'm like, fuck.
Well, the thing is, like, Berto couldn't go because I think he had like classes that he had to teach. And so it's just like the classes of the gym, like, it's not like he can easily be like, oh yeah, I'm taking this weekend off. So it's just like he sent his stand-in, which was Ben.
My man. Shout out to Ben. My man is the stand-in representative.
But it was just like, it was funny because like I was so delirious. Like it was 5 a.m. that I was on the train, you know, that look on my face.
Yeah, I know that
Like, and just getting there hungry because like I had to make sure that like I was within weight range. Like I was competing at the 130. And so like I was walking around 127, but it was just like you can eat something like silly. Like, and it'll just have a little bit too much salt, and then all of a sudden it's like your weight just jumps, and so it's just like the female body is just fickled like that. So I was just like, no, you're not gonna do this to me. I'm gonna make my weight, and I
He's like,
got
you can
there.
eat something. You can eat one peanut.
He's just straight
One
fucking
peanut.
dry ass
peanut.
granola bar. Like,
But I also remember it was like the night before, like I had my baby brother's birthday party over at my aunt's on 34th, and they did this huge thing, and they had
that's
like
rough.
all this food, like pollo guisado.
Oh my God! Could you have any of that?
I looked at it sideways like this, like
Save a plate for me.
and so I did. Like I took a piece of chicken. I was like, I can have this. It's just I can't have as much as I normally would have. And so my aunt was just like, what are you doing to yourself? And I was just like,
Very
like-
logical question.
I was like, I have to make weight tomorrow. So I'll have some more after the competition.
but not good by then. Fuck that. Nah.
It's not. Oh, the smells were killing me.
Oh my
like,
God.
but the
They're
thing was
killing
just like,
me now, and I haven't.
I got to the competition and like I had all of my sandwiches ready so that as soon as I stepped off the scale, like I would just immediately eat it. But all this was done at 6 a.m, which I was grateful because like if they had like pushed it to like later on, like I don't know, like I would have been like, I can't do this. Like I need sustenance.
Are you doing more competitions now, or that did COVID kind of break that and then?
I had to like rebuild myself because it was just like I did that competition and then I was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do next. And then, pandemic said no.
So
and
how was the competition? What did you end up like?
I placed second, so it was just like,
that's awesome. Nice.
and I was just like, this is a possibility. And like I had Goose like as my coach, and he's the one who like put my numbers in and everything because like I don't do well like in
Tracking?
competition. I don't do well in competitions. Like I need someone to be like, pick that up, and I'm like, okay. But if you tell me like, okay, you have to put in your numbers, you have to tell me when you're gonna do it, I'm just like, that's too much for me. And so like he came in, he's like, I'll be your coach. And
Trainers need trainers.
yeah, like that's a real thing because it just becomes too much. Like it was easier for me to be like, okay, all I gotta do is just make sure I make the lift. And he took care of everything else. Like he was just like, what do you want out of this competition. I was like, I don't want to miss a single lift. And he was like, you got it. And like the way he plugged it all in, like I didn't miss anything. So I walked out going like, yeah, I can do this. And then I couldn't because there was a pandemic for the next 2 years. So, but now like I'm back into like that training regimen, and it's more of like solidifying certain things in these lifts, so that way when I go to the competition again, like I don't have anything like in the back of my mind going like this isn't right or this doesn't feel right. So, and I asked them to like help me out too. So hopefully next year I'll be like doing another one.
Yeah, and the thing is that next year, it's not next year. It's fucking 3 months from now. Like that's it. This year is a fucking wash.
That's not a long time. I mean, for next year she has to get ready like now.
Yeah, now.
Which is what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So when you say you're solidifying your lifts, like what specifically?
So it's just like small technique things, like the nature of these lifts, like they're so quick that like so many things happen at once in like a single second. Like I'm doing the snatches and then the clean and jerk, and when you see them, like you're just like, oh, that happened so quickly. But then when you break it down, all of a sudden it's just like a million tiny little things that you don't think about. So for me in particular, like I have a bad habit of like overusing my legs versus like using my arms. So it's like tweaking that notion or increasing the stability in my overhead positioning, because when I have the weight overhead, I don't want to do something where all of a sudden one of my shoulders are like, can't do it. So
stepping out.
Yeah. So, like, it's just cleaning it up just a little bit, you know? So that way, when I do go to competition, I'm not thinking, ooh, I'm a little shaky when I have the weight in this position. Or, ooh, like, when I set up, like...
The scoring, do they do that? Do they check your position where you hold it? Or when you jerk it and get it top?
Hey, yo.
Do they see, hey? Is that part of the point? So, like, how do they score it? I don't...
I guess the way in scoring, because how it is, like, they have judges from the front and the sides, and so, like, they watch you execute the lift. So it's like on the snatch, that's the one where you go ground straight all the way overhead positioning. Yeah, like, it's not like you can just pick it up and then try to, like, snatch it. Like, no, you have to do it from the ground up. So in that respect, like, yeah, they're watching to make sure, like, you're doing the lift properly. The technical scoring of it is when you land it. So it's just like for the snatch, when you catch the snatch at the bottom, are you in, like, a full extension position, or did you kind of, like...
Who the hell is that?
Who farted? Who fucking farted? No, just kidding.
Like, oh?
That's here.
That sounds like a clown nose.
As you were mentioning, the scoring on the actual landing part.
Right. So it's just like they do watch to make sure that you execute the lift properly. So it's just like you're not just picking it up and then trying to do it from standing position. Like, no, you have to do it from ground up. And then
the Heights, random motorcycles driving by. My bad.
Background noise.
So when you hold a position, do they make you like make sure that it's not shaking or you're off balance?
How long you gotta hold it up?
So it all depends on the judges. So for example, like that snatch position you catch at the bottom, like if they catch that, like you caught it in this bent position and then you try to lock it out, they won't count it. So it's like small things like that.
Oh, you can't lock it? You gotta like...
No, you can't, like, if you catch it here, the elbow can't be bent. It has to, like, already be in a full extension.
So you gotta
full
be
extension.
Yeah. If they see you doing, like, from here and then trying to, like, lock it out, like, there's some judges who will be like, that don't count. So,
it's like gymnastics. When they do the flip and they land, once they do that step back or forward, that's the deduction of point. You have to make sure you land and you land proper, like 2 feet, boom, solid.
Do they record each movement? Because I'm someone who'll be like, I'm not sure if I saw that or not. Can you do it again, please?
That'd be so messed up. Be like, I closed my eyes. Sorry.
Yo, legit, that shit do be kind of quick, though.
I know. It'd be like, I think I saw her extend it. Not sure.
No, they don't. They don't do a replay. Like there's no
Slow motion replay.
It's just all in time. Like they see it, and that's why they have like the multiple judges. So that way, it's just like if one judge, I don't know, just looks away for a second, you got the other two who's just like either yay, nay. They have the 3 lights, so it's like you got the 3 lights that either go white or red. Like white is like you're good, red is like and so it's like you get the 3, you're good. You get 2 red out of 1 white, like it's a no lift. So
That's fucking wild.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that shit does get way too technical, and more props to you, man. Like, yo, you fucking be rocking that shit. I see you do it, and you know what's crazy? I feel you have underserviced your social media by not posting any of that cool shit. But you know what? Because in my life, in my mind, if it's not on the gram, it's not in real life, bro.
No, I appreciate that you don't post it, because then, like I said, not seeing you for a bit and then seeing you and then seeing the progress you made, I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
thank you.
No,
It is impressive.
you need to fucking step up your social media.
No, he told me my weakness is I don't use social media. I don't
No, that's not
market
a
myself.
weakness. Do not listen to
It
Ron
is.
Kain.
Absolutely.
It is
If I choose not to, is it a weakness?
It is your portfolio.
If it wasn't for this that we're doing, I would not use social media at all. But
I wish to be better at it though, because honestly, I have a love-hate relationship where it's just like, you know me, like I don't like to put myself out there, or I don't like to be like me.
But you are
so it's
a
just
brand.
But that's the thing. It's like with Instagram, it feels like a very like me situation.
It's the whole fucking world.
But I have to be taught of like how to use it.
It's a
I can't
business
lie. You
tool.
probably get more clients and more, obviously more exposure. Obviously, that's clear. Yeah, definitely. If you did know how to use your social media more to expose yourself, you definitely would have.
Use it as a business, not as a social networking. Just use it as a business to expand your brand.
Yeah.
That's
I
just my
have a
suggestion.
67-year-old client who's just like, you need to be better. And I'm just like,
67?
She said it. She said it. It is a good tool.
It's just saying, yo. With that, I'm gonna transition. We're at the hour mark. I'm gonna transition over to this part of the segment called "Last Call for Words." We'll start off with my brother Los.
I always go first. He always sets me up for failure, but I always kill it anyways. I mean, last
Settle for
words.
Settle for success, bro. It's a very big difference, man. Like,
You kill it.
coño, like, I'm setting you up for success. Yo.
Right.
Oh, fucking set the bar high, motherfucker.
Right.
Otherwise, you would overthink it.
You guys are letting me think too much. Stop it. Let's go in. No, my last words. I mean, I just talking with you. It's about my last words. Just is dedication. Work on your craft. Do it with all your will, your might. Wake up every day. Work out. Whether it's working out, whether it's what we're doing now, the podcast. Go at it. Go hard. And working out, it's not a bad thing. You don't have to go balls to the wall, but like you said, it gives you much better mood. You're less depressed. You're much more happier. You're in a better space mentally, physically, and people go to the gym. Work out. This episode's been paid by Berto by Boxing. Go visit Berto.
Great boxing
How you
classes.
said Berto by Boxing?
I went along with this. Like, yeah, Berto by
it
boxing.
still works. It still works.
I'm a happy client.
That works.
Don't answer that shit.
Yo,
But I got you, baby.
Berto by boxing.
But hit the gym. It makes you feel good. And like, I haven't worked out in a few weeks. I'm starting Monday again in a new gym, which I will give you guys an update later on.
Yeah, keep rocking, my brother. Métele mano.
Dile, tú estás flaco, loco.
No, listen, now, bro, I'm not saying anything. Just stop doing cardio, nigga. Do some real work. Let me say.
So what you saying?
Yo, pump some iron.
I feel like that's the emotional
Yeah,
damage.
legit. You know what? I have not put it.
No, put it.
The honorable, the lovely Lady H, please share with me what would be your last words.
I love being active, and I miss it when I don't do it often, and I would love to do it more. as soon as I have extra income, I want you to be my personal trainer if you have space in your schedule.
Oh, I'd make space for you.
Yeah, I would love to be trained by you. So that's setting
Stop it.
Come on.
the intention.
Stop it.
I didn't know a middle schooler was joining us.
No, but please set all the positive intentions in the world.
Trained by Dorothy. No, trained by D.
It's Berto by boxing.
And trained by D.
Yeah, like, we need cue cards for these shits. Yeah. Can't be fucking making up titles on the fly.
I like Berto by boxing.
Of course we can. It works best that way.
Yeah, the fantabulous, the lovely Dorothy Davis. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on deck. Please share with me, what would be your last words?
Damn, Lowe's, why you guys set that bar high?
Hey, listen, Monsieur always hits it up.
Hey, yo.
Okay, you know what? The takeaway would be, like, definitely, of course, like, dedication, but also, like, keeping yourself surrounded by that good energy. Like, in all honesty, I push myself every day because, yes, it does make me feel good, but it's also the people that I surround myself with that help me to see that, like, I can do better. I can be better all the time. So it's just like, you know, like, I've known you, Ron, for over a decade, and it's just like you are a shining beacon to me. So, and you've also brought, like, wonderful people into my circle that I can look at and be like, yeah, like, these are good people, this is good energy, like, and it just makes me feel better about myself, which in turn makes me want to do better for myself. So it's just like good energy, surround yourself with those who would look for you to be better, to do better, and just take pride in yourself.
Damn, girl, I love you.
That's beautiful.
All right.
That's very beautiful.
Fuck. So poetic of you. Shit. Now I gotta step my game up, man. As I was, you know, listening to you speak and recalling the times that we were crossing paths a bit more frequently because of our surroundings and our working environments and all that kind of stuff, it brought me back to that space that you are absolutely right. That sense of community of people that are doing more than just, yo, let's chill and drink or let's bullshit and blah, blah, blah. Like, nah, I was hanging out with y'all and I was trying to convince y'all to go out drinking. And because y'all were so healthy, they're like, nah, let's, you know, lift up a few weights before we go. And I'm like, all right, cool. The only time I really felt like I was doing big dog shit is when I was drinking with these humongous ass people, and then they would like collapse after one drink, and I'm like, I can hold my shit down. But it was, like, that was like my fucking like balance. But of course we shouldn't have that fucking balance, anyways. But that sense of belonging, of you know, no judgment, like really judgment free, saying like, yo, we're gonna empower each other, because even what I thought and I considered people to be at their peak best, they pushed each other to go further. Like, there was never a moment of plateauing there. And plateauing, you know, like, that shit is one of the terms I learned while being there. And so, you know, for me, it was always the upward trajectory of growth. Yo, at one point I was doing upside down handstand push-ups. I was like, what the fuck am I?
Hey, yo, wait a minute.
I was using the wall, chill. But now I'm like, man, I barely do a motherfucking push-up. But there was that sense of, but it was because of that sense of belonging. Like, yo, try this out. I had somebody, you know, helping me do yoga. I had my boy Berto helping me with boxing. Chris Guzman, he was, you know, helping me with weightlifting. You were helping me with like literally everything. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy, right? And today was just all the much more a reminder, especially when you mentioned how Guzman helps you too with the lifting and all that kind of stuff. You know, that trainers train each other, but it's not not just that mentality, it's that sense of community. It's that sense of camaraderie. It's that sense of togetherness. And I ain't gonna lie, that shit was pretty fucking dope after I finished like a 10-mile run. And it took me like 2 hours later, but yo, y'all there? Y'all had my back and y'all waited and y'all gave me that high five. that was probably way more rewarding than the fucking medal that I got or whatever the fuck they gave me and the free T-shirt. I was pretty hyped though. I asked for a small at the time. They only had like extra larges though. Still fits at least. But it was that's what was all the much more reinvigorating for me. And hearing you speak and sharing that, you know, having that sense of community and feeding off of each other, you know, never taking anything away from each other. Because, it was very easy to especially like you shared with the female trainers that were hating for no fucking reason, right? Like at one point, but if people don't know you and they don't take the time or make the effort to get to know you, then people just have their own fucking assumptions and they have their own, you know, idea of who you are without even getting to know you. But putting yourselves through these situations and these circumstances makes you want to grow together and get to know somebody. And so it's not just the working out to have, you know, a better body and all this other shit. It's that true sense of overall wellness. I feel like I have great friends. You know, we do dope activities, try different things from fitness, skydiving, all that kind of stuff. We've done a lot of shit, and it's just a beautiful reminder. So to have you on today was just a goal of mine to just, you know, rekindle and remind ourselves, it goes beyond, we've done just beyond fight nights and bullshit. Like, we've really been there for each other, and you are the source of inspiration for me to always want to be better. So I thank you for coming on, and I hope you enjoyed your time here, and I hope we can all continue to grow and everybody be better every day. But at the end of the day, this is just words. Nobody cares. I meant to play the outro music, but my bad. I gave myself a fucking round of applause.
So what you're saying is it takes an army to train you then?
Yes. Oh, absolutely, bro.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no. I had a trainer for every day of the week.
You're like a fucking child.
Yes.